Now we will discuss on how a firm reach its equilibrium diagrammatically, and also how a firm enjoy supernormal profit, normal profit, or even incurring a loss by means of a diagrams. So if you look here at this very first diagram, we can see the OX axis, which representing output. We have the OY axis representing price. In this diagram, we have this curve, which is parallel towards the OX axis. This is the MR curve. This MR curve, it did coincides with the AR curves. Further, besides this curve, which is parallel towards the OX axis, we also have another two important curve. We have the MC cost curve. We also have the AC cost curve. Recalling on those important conditions as listed by the marginal cost, marginal revenue approach for a firm to be in equilibrium, it says a firm is said to be in equilibrium when certain conditions are fulfilled. One of the conditions is that MC, it should equal MR. The second condition is that MC must cut MR from below. And further, this approach says that for a firm to be in equilibrium, it should also be able to maximize its profit. So, looking at this particular figure, that is this figure one, what we can see is that yes, we have this AR MR curve which coincides with each other. We have the AC curve which is U in shape, and so along with the MC cost curve. Looking at all the this figure number one, what we can see is that if we look at point C, okay, at this very point, okay, I can say that at point E, MC equals MR. How they are equal is because when two curves cut each other, they are equal at that point. So if you look at this point E, these two curves cut each other, the MR curve as well as the MC curve. They cut each other at point E. Therefore, they are said to be equal at point E. Further, that is the first condition, which is MC equals MR. The second condition is that looking at the figure is that we should see that the MC cost curve must cut the MR curve from below. If you look at the MC curve here, this MC curve, it comes from below. Okay, it comes from below, then cut the MR and rise above. Okay, so again, if you look at point E, yes, the first condition is fulfilled. That means the equality between MC and MR. Looking at the second condition, the MC curve did cut this MR curve from below, which means the second condition also is fulfilled. So the first condition as well as the second condition is fulfilled if we look at the very point, that is the point E. Therefore, if what I can say here also at this looking at this particular diagram of this form is said to be in equilibrium. Further, from the point of equality, that is from the point E, if I drop perpendiculars towards the output axis OX, okay, I will get OQ as an output. So this firm shows that this particular firm or producer is producing OQ as output and charge OP as the price. So after producing OQ as the output and charge OP as the price, let us check whether this firm is enjoying profits or is incurring a loss. So if you look at this perpendicular that we dropped from point E to Q to point Q, okay, what happened was, let me C. Let me use C, okay, over here. Okay, looking at this perpendicular that we drop from point E towards the output axis, giving us OQ as the output. What I can say is, after having produced OQ as an output and charge OP as the price or the AR, okay, let us have a look at how much is the average cost. This much, this CQ, it is the price or the average revenue. Sorry, if you look at the this perpendicular again, what happened is the price that the firm charged for this output for his product is OP or EQ. Okay, so now let's have a look. Let's find out how much is his average cost. His AR is QE. AR is equal to QE or OP, the same, okay? However, if we look at AC, how much is the average cost? Let's have a look at the average cost curve. This average cost curve, it's in this way, okay? This average cost passes through this point at point C, okay? So it did give us OP or QE as the price or the AR, QC as the average cost. Okay, so what we can see here, this AR is greater than the average cost, which means on producing OQ as output, the firm is enjoying QE as the average revenue and its average cost is QC. And this portion over here, this CQ, okay, this is the profit per unit. And if we multiply this profit per unit with the total output, OQ, or let us draw in this way to make the work easier. Okay, from this point C, I extend towards the OY axis and say I write D. If I multiply this EC or the profit per unit with the total output CD, which is the same as QO, what that I will get is I will get ECDP, okay, which means this is the total profit that is being enjoyed by this particular firm. And such a profit is referred to as the super normal profit.